Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I have R. Scott McHenry with me. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Jeff. How's it going?
It's going well. As you see, I biffed my intro. I didn't mention that this podcast is brought to the listener and you, by Sherman Oaks Film Festival and Film Invasion Los Angeles, 2 festivals in the LA area. But I'm mentioning them at the top of the podcast now.
Yeah, and since it's a new episode, I'll co-sign again that Film Invasion's still my favorite festival in Los Angeles that I've been to. So
you know, we got lucky. It was all downhill from there, huh? No, but we I will tell everyone that your film Sentient had its world premiere at Film Invasion Los Angeles in 2025, and besides having the world premiere, you won the Grand Jury Award for Best Short Film Thriller, and you, as the director of it, won the Filmmakers Award for Outstanding Director. So, golf clap, bravo.
yeah, and the trophies are still in my living room and on my office desk. So
nice.
I'm still proud of them.
I like those trophies.
Yeah, they're great.
I like the blue ones because you can see the writing on them.
Yeah, and they're the perfect size. They're not too obnoxious, but still good conversation starters. You know.
Yeah, the first of many.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that was your world premiere and you took home awards. Awesome. All right, so people should listen to the podcast before this one in the Discover Indie Film podcast feed. That'll be a nice long interview with Scott. We learn all about this young man and how he became a filmmaker, and not a very traditional method, by the way, to become an engineer first and working and manage construction and then end up a filmmaker. But it was always in you, which is absolutely true. So anyway, this podcast is what we call a 4 questions podcast, because Scott is going to answer, name 3 films that you love. That's question number 1. Number 2 is name a film that is underrated. Number 3 is a film that is overrated. And number 4 is a lesser known film that people should seek out. I don't have to explain why we do this. It's fun to talk about movies.
Yeah, that's why we're here, man. We love movies, right?
Yeah,
So,
I got to admit, I've yet to meet a filmmaker who doesn't love movies, although it always shocks me, the filmmaker who doesn't love watching their peers work. But anyway, you want to hit question number 1?
yeah, and I'll just do a shameless self-plug since it's a new episode that, you can watch Sentient and my other short films on YouTube, which...
Not only that, but you can go to the show notes and there'll be a link right to them.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you. And then, I'll just jump right in. So the question was 3 movies I love, right? So,
3 that you love. That's what, I didn't want it to be like, name the best 3 of all time, because then that's 3 that you love is enough torture, let alone the idea that they have to be the best ever.
So these probably, I'm sure everyone that's listens to this podcast is going to have heard of these before. They're not that unique, but they're what I grew up with. They're what I love. When I think of films I love, I think of ones that I, burn the DVD out I watch so much and just go back to comfort films, things like that. So, I guess the first one, and I could probably talk for an hour and a half about this trilogy, but the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I mean, that's just the best movies ever. The Howard Shore score, the cast, the production stories. I mean, just talk about getting like 500 people together that just absolutely love movies to their core. People hand making chainmail for 2 years so they could have everything look practical. Literally inventing ways to do VFX. Just
an amazing cinematic achievement.
Yeah.
To bring those books that accurately to the screen. I'm going to ask you, do you know this question I'm going to ask you? Because people have recently mentioned that. Oh, maybe those haven't released yet. But are you an extended version guy, or are you a theatrical version?
Yeah, I mean, because I love them so much, I'll take whatever content I can get. I'll watch the 4 hours. Every time they re-release in theaters too, I go see them. At least I try to see one of them. So I just went and saw Fellowship, the 25th anniversary extended edition re-release, and then I saw Return of the King for the 20th anniversary with the cast and crew Q&A afterwards. So that was a lot of fun. They're definitely probably the inferior film, if you're asking, in terms of pacing and like
the 4 hour, the extended.
Yeah, the 4 hour. Yeah. It's better to probably, if you're going to watch them the first time, I would watch the non-extendeds for sure. It just moves faster and there's kind of a bunch of stuff you don't really need unless you love them. But yeah, I mean, I just think the best opening sequence in film history as well. Cate Blanchett's voice coming over. I mean, there's just so many moments in these movies that just like give you chills. The ride of the Rohirrim, the music coming in, the speech before they charge. It's just like the scale of the story is just so grand and still delivers such emotional moments and such emotional dialogue and human moments within fantasy that I just love them to death.
I'm with you. They're cinematic achievements. Yeah, it's wonderful that they exist.
Yeah, I think it was one of the few times I've cried in theaters too was when I saw the Return of the King when I was a little kid. Seeing Frodo get on the boat, knowing that the journey was over, was a truly sad moment for me.
That's funny. I cry a lot at movies. I don't think that one got me. But I'm with. There you go. Yeah. I had a tradition. I saw all three of them opening weekend in Las Vegas.
Really?
I was always in Vegas because they were Christmas time, right? They always came out in December, I believe.
Sounds right.
Sounds right.
It's when the blockbusters come out, you know.
Needless to say, I'm probably your dad's age, so so I was in Vegas and you were a kid watching the films. All right, do you want to name more though? Because those you could make those one film. Those are one piece.
I'll pick
right?
Return of the King if I have to pick one, but they were all shot at the same time, you know. So in my head, they're all one movie. But yeah, I'll pick Return of the King, I guess.
Well, I'm just saying you get to name two more. Favorites.
Yeah. So I'll go. I thought about this a lot. Part of me wanted to pick Superbad as a comedy just because it was so much fun, but I'm gonna go a different direction for my comedy pick here. I love Linklater movies so much that I felt I just had to pick a Linklater movie, whether it be the Before trilogy, Dazed and Confused, whatever. They're just all great comfort movies. But specifically, the most personal one that I love is Everybody Wants Some. I don't know if you've seen that one. It's kind of the spiritual.
I have not seen it.
Yeah, spiritual sequel to Dazed and Confused about a college baseball team in the 80s. And it just follows them for their first weekend of the year at college and their freshman incoming pitcher that comes and joins the team. And the personalities are just fantastic. Every character is so fleshed out and so much fun and has such a unique voice. Just the best hangout film ever made, in my opinion.
Is the title a reference to the Van Halen song from the 80s?
It is, just like Dazed and Confused is a reference to the Zeppelin song.
I'm the age of the people in that film.
Yeah. It's great too. Like all the music, the entire soundtrack in it is so good. It's got country music, it's got Van Halen, it's got Pink Floyd, it's got disco music, and it's all about these college kids will basically chameleon themselves to be whatever they can to chase the party, and that's pretty much the entire core conflict of the movie is, in my opinion, the same as Dazed and Confused, where it's just kids chasing a party and adults trying to keep them from having a good time, you know, adults in the system. So
very cool. Yeah. All right, you get one more.
Yeah, I flip-flopped around on this one a lot, but I'm just going to once again do the Linklater thing where I just pick one of my favorite directors and then their best movies. So I'm just going to go Kubrick. I think he's the director I try to emulate the most.
I'm rubbing my chin because I'm curious which will be your top Kubrick.
It's one that nobody's ever heard of, 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know, I'm sure nobody else has said it on the podcast before, just like Lord of the Rings. But there's a reason everyone loves those movies and loves 2001. It was the movie I watched in college that made me realize that it was an art form and not just entertainment.
It's amazing. Actually, when I did the 500th episode of this podcast and I was the guest and I finally had to answer the questions myself, I really wanted to put Strangelove in instead of 2001, but I think I had to go with 2001, even though I think Strangelove is one of the greatest films ever made.
Yeah, I just went and saw Dr. Strangelove at the Los Feliz Theater, the American Cinematheque, like 3 months ago. Still so good and so much fun to see in theaters.
Might be one of the funniest films ever made.
Oh, definitely.
It's so smart.
There's so many quotable moments.
I'm such a nerd, I have to say, it's actually Dr. Strangelove or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. There, have to say it.
Yeah, and it just becomes more,
But deep down, 2001 is life-changing.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the only movie you could actually make a real religion based off of, you know, about how humanity started.
Better than Scientology.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, I
just
shouldn't
about
have
as
said that. I shouldn't have
creative,
said
maybe.
that.
Yeah, you might have lost some future funding for the podcast by saying that.
Yeah,
But
I don't edit, but maybe I'll edit that. But fair enough. No, excellent. 2001: A Space Odyssey.
yeah, so yeah, I think you could pick any Kubrick movie, but that's the most fun one.
Well, he definitely had his ups and downs. Everyone does, but not many downs.
Yeah. So that's the three that I'll
That's
go
your
with.
3. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, question number 2 is a film you feel is underrated.
Underrated, I'm going to go with Starship Troopers.
Nice. That's a good movie.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't like it.
A lot of people see it as
like a B film almost.
It was
is
by
the
that
reputation.
German dude, right? What's his name?
Yeah, what is is it Stewart?
Is it also the Total
or-
Recall director?
It's RoboCop and I think
Yeah.
Total Recall as well. Yeah,
Why am I used to totally know his
Stewart
name.
Shepard or something Shepard. Anyway, we'll have
That's,
to Jamie pull it up. But yeah, that's just one of my favorite movies of all time. That's one of the few ones that when I was younger, my dad showed me that movie. Probably when I was too young, as we were talking
Paul
about.
Verhoeven.
Paul Verhoeven. There you go. But yeah, that was one that when I watched as a young kid, I just thought was ridiculous. The acting was bad, and it was just really an action sci-fi movie that had no soul to it. And then I rewatch it as I get older, and every time I rewatch it, you just realize the fact that it's probably the best satire of fascism and the military-industrial complex that was ever made. And I think every choice was made intentionally. I think the casting of beautiful people that aren't the best actors was intentional to make it seem like it was a propaganda film. I think that all the propaganda bits that they put inside of it, the little clips that they cut to, are just brilliant. And yeah, all the characters are self-centered and just end up being cogs in the fascist machine by the end. And it's just a beautifully crafted movie that doesn't get the love it deserves, honestly.
And it's really fun.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
rewatchability because you just have a blast watching all the ridiculousness unfold.
God, I don't know if I've seen it since I saw it in theaters.
Really?
But I still remember it clearly. And
The
you're right
brain
about
rot,
the beautiful
man.
people. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
All
Denise
right.
Richards, Neil Patrick Harris, it's a good looking duo.
And whatever. There was someone from, it was either Melrose Place or 90210. She was on. But anyway, I'll stop. I used to be able to name names. I can't remember names anymore. Question number 3 is a film you feel is overrated.
Yeah, this is hard to do because I think obviously I try to let people enjoy things. I have a lot of opinions, but at the end of the day, if someone has a different opinion, keep enjoying it. Don't let me be the one that rains on the parade. But I watched Buffalo 66 a couple years ago, and I did not like it at all. And I feel like I can hate on that movie a little bit because the guy that made it is very problematic individual, to say the least, and did a lot of problematic things on set with Richie. But I thought Christine Ritchie's performance was good, but I just thought the entire movie was just like this male fantasy fan fiction movie. The character motivations didn't make any sense. The Stockholm Syndrome in Christine Ritchie's character, I just wasn't buying, really. The fact that she would love this guy that abuses her and kidnaps her and this and that seemed like a big eye roll moment for me. So that one, I think, gets way too much love from the indie film community.
Yeah, and the lead actor, that's who wrote and directed it, right?
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name now.
Man.
But
I
yeah,
could have
it's
told you
complicated.
these, yeah.
I know. Here, I used to know his name.
Vincent Gallo.
Vincent
Yeah,
Gallo,
there we
exactly.
go.
Yeah. All
So
right.
yeah, and then he did Brown Bunny and stuff, where he actually made,
Yeah, with Chloe Sevigny.
Yeah, so-
and she probably. Well, it's up to her how she feels about that.
Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, that's why I feel okay saying some bad things about that one.
Sure. Well, heck, I won't even bother with my explanation of the question. Fair enough. Buffalo 66. Yeah, because some people, it got some nods and stuff back.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to Letterboxd, I think it has like a 4.1 out of 5 on Letterboxd, which is crazy high for that app, but people love it. They say it's a great window into what the filmmaker was thinking and what his mental state was, but if the mental state is shit, then I don't really care to look into it, I guess. But
Yeah, and you think, in a more enlightened time, it would be viewed differently. Not everything holds up over time.
yeah.
And certainly male fantasies, a lot of the traditional male fantasies of dominance hopefully are no longer in fashion.
Yeah, I think some of like the John Wayne stuff and things like that don't hold up as well these days. But I think that might just be one that doesn't have as wide of an audience because it's lesser known to the general public, where if it was exposed to the general public, that
Right.
instead of being sought out by a certain
So
indie film demographic.
people like that it's a small little edgy film that the average American hasn't heard of.
Yeah, I think that's why it gets so much love. But if it was a big blockbuster that was the same thing, or if it was better received early on, I think it would be lower on the rankings for a lot of lists.
I bet you're right. All right. Well, we got one question left, which is a lesser known film for people to seek out.
Yeah, and this is a hard one because this is obviously a filmmaker's podcast, and I'm sure everyone that listens to it loves film or makes films and probably knows everything that I've seen in some way, shape, or form. So I just decided to pick one that got a smaller U.S. release and got less Oscars love and just got less praise than I thought it deserved. So it's almost underrated as well, but everyone that watches it loves it. But even people on set that I talk to haven't seen it. Is The Taste of Things.
I don't know it.
Yeah, it's a French film that came out in 2024 or 2023, and it's got Juliette Binoche, and it's about a chef and his sous chef that, after years of working together, develop a relationship, and it's just a beautiful, poetic romance. It's almost like Train Dreams, where the entire movie just feels like poetry. It's shot incredibly well. It actually influenced a lot of how I shot Food for Consumed by You, and just the romantic editing style of it and how much attention is paid to the food preparation process in the movie is just really beautiful. And I saw it on a Sunday matinee at, I think, the Lumiere Cinema Music Hall, the one in Beverly Hills. And it was me and like 3 other single women, and just spread across this theater on a Sunday afternoon at noon. And I think all of us left with some water in our eyes. And I was like, just looked at him on the way, and I was like, hell of a way to start a Sunday. Just like ruined my entire Sunday. It just hit me like a truck. And like I said, just every time I talk to people, even in the film community, it doesn't get people haven't seen it. Even though it was up for the Palme d'Or, it lost to Anatomy of a Fall, which was the other French movie that year, but they did submit it for the Oscars over Anatomy of a Fall. But then it didn't get nominated for anything or whatever. So it just kind of fell under the radar and into obscurity, but it's really a beautiful film, and I think anyone that loves movies should watch it.
I'm dying to see it now. I think Juliette Binoche is one of the greatest actors of our era.
Yeah.
Can't even name all the amazing films I've seen her in. But
yeah, I thought that was her best performance too, and
really? Wow.
I mean, seasoned performance as well at this point in her career. So.
Oh my God, yeah, that is. I say this a lot, but one of the cheat codes of making an amazing film is writing some characters who are over 60, because man, that acting community, they have unbelievable talent. Yeah, and Hollywood does not write anything for them.
Yeah, and just a wealth of experience too. I mean, many of them have been doing it for 40 years,
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you survived that long too, and just bringing that much life experience to a character. Yeah.
It blows me away. I can't get enough of films like that. Well, excellent list.
Thank you.
All
right. I tried to do a couple more obscure things after I picked Lord of the Rings in 2001.
Sure. Well, heck. That's the questions lead you, right? The questions end obscure, which is kind of fun. And look, I'm gonna mention your film. During your interview, I said how your latest film, Consumed by You, I said it kind of has a European, like French vibe. Mm-hmm. And now here you are saying that you're somewhat inspired to shoot the food by a French film.
Yeah, I mean the lighting is beautiful and the cooking sequences. There's so much romance in there.
You achieved the French aesthetic.
Perfect. I love to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah. And French films do. Oh man, French film. I love French cinema.
There's some really good stuff there.
There is. now I live a life where I never see much because most of my viewing is submissions to film festivals.
Yeah.
Because I have a lot of screeners to watch throughout the year.
Yeah, which isn't quite up there with Godard and.
Well, it's just hard to stay in touch with the new stuff coming out, right? Whereas, but back when I had time to watch films, like, City of Lost Children, and there are all these amazing.
Is that new? I haven't dove into the new
film
wave
from about
stuff.
30 years ago.
Was that like the new wave era, or was that
No,
a
it was
little
like
after?
90s. It was 90s.
Okay.
In fact, it was.
I guess 30 years ago it was only 90s.
Oh my God, I just lost all of it. I believe it was the same director as Amelie and this and
really?
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, amazing director. And Delicatessen. No. Yes. No. I don't know anymore. Jean-Gilles Dudeux. No. All right. That was just the most American way I could have finished this. All right, Scott. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on.
And I'm going to thank everyone for listening. If you want to learn more about this podcast, just go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's always at DIFwins. If you go to discoverindiefilm.org, that is the nonprofit that runs both Film Invasion Los Angeles, that did the world premiere of Scott's film, Sentient, and as well as it also runs Sherman Oaks Film Festival, which they are, I always call them sister festivals. I don't know why. Sometimes I think I should be gender neutral and call them siblings, but whatever. Sister fests, and they have a cousin down in South America called Film Invasion Lima in Peru. So there we go. That's my sign off.
Yeah. Thanks for having me on and giving me an opportunity to talk about movies.
Excellent. Thank you for, heck, I got to go watch Everybody Wants Some. And I'm, I'm going to close with a fun little reference. I hope everyone has seen Better Off Dead. Because I believe, was it Better Off Dead or One Crazy Summer? But there was an animated, John Cusack works in a burger place, and he's making burgers, and I'm pretty sure it's Better Off Dead. No, I can't even remember which film. But the burgers come to life, and they actually rock out to the Van Halen song "Everybody Wants Some."
Hell yeah!
I if you like absurd comedy, everyone should see. Well, isn't Better Off Dead a thing? People have seen Better Off Dead.
I don't know. I might be out of myself, but
and
I've
then
not
One
seen
Crazy
that
Summer
one,
is
so.
like there was a guy named, the director's name was Savage Steve Holland. He actually put the word Savage in his DGA
I gotta
name.
get a better stage name. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least you have the R.
Yeah, it's fun.
You got the R. All right. Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone, for listening.